Good afternoon. Hope everyone's making it through this virus panic. Okay. Decided to spend some time outside, boosting my immune system in the sun, and getting some more work done on the Jeep. Finished up the final touches on the platform bed in the back, so this is the video about how I made my platform bed. Sorry about the mess. Had the Jeep out, got rather dirty, wasn't really expecting that, but that's how it goes. So here is the bed system all set up. As you see, we still have a tent. We're not sleeping only in the Jeep, probably just for those windy, rainy, the nights are too bad to set up the tent where we don't have enough time. So we're bringing that along, but as you can see, gear stowed below, plenty of room. So what we have here for the bed is got a 2-inch pillow topper on top of 4-inch gel infused memory foam. So how this works is I cut the foam up into 3 pieces. Piece number 1 is the top where our head is. Second piece is body. Third piece is going to be back from right behind the rear doors to the back of the Jeep. Show you the reason for that. So this is it all folded up, ready to use, or folded out, ready to use. This is how we put it away for the day, because in order to use this, since I'm 6 foot tall, I need to push the seats up all the way, in addition to reclining them all the way forward. So at the way this is set up now, the seats cannot be pushed back at all. So in order to drive, we'll have to pack this up every day we use it. First piece of foam for our heads comes out. Second piece of foam, fold back for the moment. Hinged 2-piece headboard here. And what we got is everything is bolted down, so that will stay sturdy as we're lying on it at night. So there's a bolt here into these 2x4s with a wing nut on the bottom side. I'll take that nut out and bolt. I've already done this on the other side. There's one on both sides of the Jeep. So once the bolts are out, this has a couple of hinges in it. There's one here for the head, so it's adjustable for height. It has one right below it, which folds up. This piece, so it is out of the way of the seats being pushed back, and this is how we'll most likely use it for the most part. It will fold to that point. At this point, we can move the chairs, the seats back, and recline them again with plenty of room. If necessary, and I need to get into this section for some reason, it does fold back a third time. I'd have to lift the foam up and kind of stuff it under there. It gets a little tough now. But for the most part, we're going to be leaving it like this. Mattress folds back down with just the body and foot piece. Foam for the head. Goes in front of this frame. And at this point, just move the seats back, recline them back, and we're ready to go. Just like that. So in addition to this, we have a section custom made at the rear. Tailgate table will be here. That's a later today install. It's pushed up out of the way. The footbed turns into a stool or table around camp. Or to access this gear a little better. Maybe if to access without taking out of the Jeep. So this bungee here, the rear frame of the platform, comes right up against the front of the roll bar, the rear part of the roll bar. To make it stay a little more secure, I drilled holes in that 2x4, hooked the bungee in on both sides so it holds taut. We'll hold the 2x4 back against the roll bar at all times. In addition to that, there are also bolts in this section which go through the legs under the back portion of the board. Back here you can see that better. What we have our legs on either side, 2x4 up, 2x4 out, right before that hinge or right at that hinge, the middle hinge, 2x4 down, and screwed in. The platform is screwed in through there so the platform's secure on those legs. One additional part that I didn't mention is a piece of foam for the headrest. The way that the platform is hinged at the head, there's nothing to support it really. Since it's our heads, we don't really need too much support, but we need something, so I took a piece of this dense foam, cut it to size. It'll just be laid on the console to support that piece of the platform as well as protecting the console. And that is about it for the bed. Took a couple weeks, a few different versions, but I am super happy with how this turned out. We tried it out the other night, went out to a park, nice and dark, put the top all the way down actually, and sat up and stargazed. It was great for that. Sit on the platform, lean back against the roll bar here, and look at the stars. And then laid down and have plenty of room, more than you would think, for sleeping. Not too claustrophobic. The one other thing I do have here that gets into the way somewhat would be this dirty dog off-road netting. So when we're sleeping, so we're not sticking our toes through the loops, I just disconnect it down the sides, 4 clips, the bar out of the bottom, hooks into the rear window mounts, and just roll it up, lay it up on top of the roll bar. When we're ready to go the next day, we can pack up gear, leave our blankets, pillows or whatever here if the top's down, so we're not worried. So I'm not worried about it blowing out. Just connect this all back up again, put the bar back in, hook it back into the rear window mounts, and we're good to go. We're not losing anything through that. So I didn't see too many videos online with the particulars of how to do this in a Jeep, so hopefully this helps someone. It was a lot of fun putting it together, and trial and error, a little frustrating at times, but with the help of my fiance, it worked out really well, I think. And this will do us a lot of good on our 3-week trip across the country. Fingers crossed. One other thing I did not mention, but you probably noticed, the platform itself is carpeted. Just bought inexpensive carpeting, 50 cents a square foot at Home Depot. Cut it to size, wrapped around the ends when possible, stapled into place. It is a lot better. A little bit of cushioning, but mostly it was for the plywood, so that we weren't getting splinters every time we moved this thing, which we were originally, and ripping up foam, sheets, gear underneath stored, all that type of thing. So it cost about $11. Covered the whole thing, and I have plenty extra. I think on the rear footbed, I'm just going to stain it, maybe some spar varnish, so we can just use that as a, like I said, a bench or a table outside, and if it gets wet or it's enough sun, it'll be protected more than just carpeting on it, and for easier cleanup, of course. And there is our gear setup at the moment. Air pump, saw the stove, a bin for miscellaneous, tent, cot. Of course, I'm not sleeping on the ground. That is a frame cot by Coleman, queen size, with a air mattress on top. So someone might say I'm not really roughing it. I'm okay with that. I would rather be comfortable for 3 weeks. And this takes up an awful lot of room. I am working on something to alleviate that. I do not want to bring this with. 10 by 10 pop-up, easy up, pop-up canopy. So hopefully in another video, which I also didn't see many of on YouTube, I'm going to try and create a sun/rain canopy. So I'm going to want it to probably attach somewhere on the sides, maybe from the front windshield back. I have a tarp that will extend past the open tailgate to about here, and I want it to come from that side over approximately maybe 6 or 8 feet away from the Jeep as well, so that our cooking area and loading area is covered, as well as some seating area and some other area here next to the Jeep. Definitely need to leave this door open, and the other on the other side for climbing in and out for the bed if we're using that. So that is next up. I'm thinking a big tarp, some paracord to attach it up there, maybe one pole at that back corner, one pole at this front corner, and 1 or 2 poles possibly on the length over here in our open seating hanging out area. So that was probably too much information. I'll just wait for the video. I'll put that together, and hopefully that works out and someone can use that as well. Hopefully it works out for us, mostly for staying out of the shade. But you know, if it rains consistently for a few days, really don't want us to be stuck inside the Jeep, even though we're going to be stopping here and there for hotels and bed and breakfasts and whatnot. Most of our time is going to be camping either in the Jeep or in the tent. So hopefully everyone enjoyed the video, maybe got some ideas on what they want to do on their own, or just found it interesting that someone could sleep in their Jeep. I was surprised myself when I first heard about it. So with that, I will bid you adieu.